Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'll be going through the trade targets for SuperCoach in round 18. As I mean, a lot of us will be on limited trades. That's been the case for quite a while. Some of us do have some injury concerns, me included, that we need to address. So I think the rookie section, as it always is at this time of the year, is rather bleak, as we've got a lot of guys that are still in the negative 40, 50 range for break evens, but they have already basically played 2 games and then they're not going to play again, or they're stuck at 3 games and are out of the side, etc. So we'll have to look at that with a pinch of salt, bring them in, I would say, because they're not going to be relevant, especially because at this point we're basically hunting for as cheap as we can get rookies, basically the 99k guys, and then getting the primos in if possible. But anyway, let's jump into this video. So Shanahan's probably, if you still somehow have trades left, if you haven't been destroyed like most of us, Shanahan's probably the guy to grab. 83, well, negative 83 break even, sorry, and he's gone 56 and 94, and he's ended up kicking 3 goals in 2 games, which is pretty decent. And he's also added his really good marker, so 8 marks in 2 games, alongside the 4 tackles in game 2 against the GWS Giants. I think he does well, but I just don't see there being value there grabbing him unless you've got something like 5, 6, 7 trades, because if we look at him with the games left that we've got, if we just have him going sort of a 70 or so, you'll see this. You're basically not really getting enough money to make a maneuver until maybe, like, looking at it, round 21 or so. So yeah, and if he drops a stinker somewhere in there, like even just to here with like a 50 somewhere in here, or like 45, then suddenly that pushes it back another round or 2, and suddenly you're looking at, yeah, he's not going to score that well. Obviously against Richmond, he's probably going to be able to score, but against, say, a Freo, who might go a 40 or something like that, and just looking at that there, yeah, you're looking at a guy that might even really struggle to make cash, because he's a key forward at the end of the day. McCarthy, everyone's got him pretty much, that's still competing. And so yeah, he's just probably going to go 90 for the rest of the year and probably finish up around the 400k marker, give or take, as you can see there. So yeah, I wouldn't be too worried about McCarthy if you have him after that. But, well, I say a bad game, he still scored 82 in the end in that game. So yeah, not too concerned about McCarthy. And then the rest of these guys, to be honest with you, don't even matter. We thought Manny Liddy would actually play, and he just hasn't, which is really disappointing to see that he didn't play round 17. I hope he gets back into the side in round 18, but we'll see about that for Port. I don't know if he necessarily just comes straight back in. I don't know what he did in the sample, if he did play or not. But yeah, I was just sort of surprised that he did get dropped for that round 17 game. And I'm just trying to see if I can find what he did in the sample for you guys, because if I just quickly look here, he ended up with, where is it here? He ended up with 19 touches in the sample, 77 fantasy points. I don't know what that would have translated to SuperCoach, but yeah, he did all right in the sample, but it wasn't an outstanding game, I'd say. So hopefully he's back against West Coast. Just got to give him and all their youngsters game time now, to be honest with you. Same with a lot of other teams, and there isn't basically anyone else I'd be looking at as well. Even like Taru, he's played 3 games now, so it doesn't matter, but even him with that negative break even wouldn't be looking at. I think we're more so looking at the coach's choice here. And let's go to this, and then we will also bring up quickly here DFS and just bring this up, and then we will go to both this and also this one here, just so that we can bring you and swap you across to SuperCoach. And there we go. And so that's that. Then, so in this round, a lot of people bring in Zach Merritt. That could be a really smart choice, because him and Martin actually could do really well this week. Against Richmond, they both have the Richmond matchup. That could be a really good way to grab up a score here. He played Richmond last time for a 156. He's got a 65 break even as well. So he could be a guy that you look to target there, because he's got a decent run home. Richmond probably won't tag. Bedford will probably go to him, but did they play earlier in the year? doesn't look like they did. Did they play in 2024? If we look at 2024, he went 101 against them, and that was it. So he hasn't really got the exposure. If we look at it, 101, 99, 111, so he hasn't gone extremely well against them. If we go to career stats here, versus opponents, if we go against GWS, 13 games at an average of 96, one of his lower averages, one of his non-ton averages there. If I make this so that you guys can actually see it a little bit better, doesn't look like you can. But anyway, that is what it is there, that he averages 96 against the likes of the, there you go, so you can see it, 96.1 against them with a low of 67, and that is one of his lowest averages outside of the Bulldogs, which if we look at it, I'm pretty sure he plays the Bulldogs sometime soon. He plays them the week after as well. So that's interesting. He did get held to a 65 against the Bulldogs last time out, which was quite annoying, but I think that was because they were just genuinely horrific. And we should see him back in the midfield now with Caldwell out for the rest of the year pretty much with an injury. So we should see Zach Merritt back into the midfield at 532k. I think he is a really, really decent guy to grab. Let me make that a little bit bigger for you guys there. So he would be top target and definitely a guy I'm considering. It's basically down between him and also Josh Dunkley. So we'll see how that goes between those two. But yeah, that's basically where my head lies with that. Shanahan, I understand people that have cash, but I just wouldn't be doing it just because I need to save trades because I've basically got injury trades left. Libba Goulden at 589k. He looks really good at the moment. And I mean, he's got something like a 100 or 82 break even. So he's going to go up in price. So this is probably the last week that you can grab him. 589k. So yeah, probably would be considering him as well there. But yeah, 589, 800. You're going to have to probably get him in this week if you are going to get him in. Then you've got McRae, Wangani, Malira, both low-ish trade-ins this week because they're still highly owned. I think, yeah, you got to grab these two in just because they're going to be guys that are going to be in the top sort of 6 for the remainder of the year in their lines. And yeah, those guys are just critical because they can put 10, 20 points per week on the other guys that you have, and 10, 20 points per week is huge. That's what's that, 7 games to go? That could be somewhere to about 100, 250 points, somewhere in that range. And that 150 points could be huge if you have it in multiple positions. If you have it in 3 positions, that's almost a potential of somewhere to 300 to 450 points, somewhere in that line. And there's obviously ways in which these guys could go off a chain here. And that instead of being 100 points that they burn, if you don't have them, it could be 200, 300 points in the last 7 weeks comparative to other players that you might have. George Stevens, Bontempelli, Rankin, etc. there. Oscar Adams as well. I think a lot of people just deciding to pick up a guy that is 99k and ultra cheap, and he might just pull out a game every once in a while that you can go and say, oh, yep, that guy is a... that guy can be fielded, etc. But yeah, I just don't see it with him, to be honest with you. When did he play that? Was it round 17? He did play last week for the 42. Rosie, understand this one as well. He's just going to go off for the year, and a guy that I traded out, and then basically since then has been arguably one of the best guys to own in the game. I'm pretty sure I traded him out after this 76 or something like that. And since then, he's gone and scored at an average of like 111 or something like that, 112. And yeah, he's been one of the more consistent guys, basically with only 2 bad games in that last sort of 10 to 15 weeks or so. So yeah, he's been ultra consistent, annoyingly so. So yeah. And then you've got as well, if we just go down further, Lockie Neal. A guy that I've definitely considered, but I think he just cops some tags here and there. And yeah, 518k. I would be probably thinking about giving him a miss, to be honest with you. Just because, yeah, I think he's a guy that you can probably get away with not owning, because I think he's going to cop some tags here and there. And so, yeah, I would be considering against him, to be honest with you. So, yeah, there's that. And then Zach Butters, Royal Marshall, etc. I would Zach Butters, yep. I think he's going to be a guy that's going to average sort of that 120 for the rest of the year. He's got this really juicy matchup against the Eagles, but I think most people have him anyway. He's basically had one bad score this whole year, and he's averaging 120, even with that bad score in there. So if you take out that one bad score, 53 off gets him to 1504 in what's that going to be? Probably 13 games or something. He's only played 13, so that would be 1504 in 12 games, which I'm pretty sure, just thinking about it, is an average of about 130. 1504 divided by 12 is 125.3. That is a ridiculous average if you take out one poor game. If you take out a really good game of his, I think it's about 180 or so. What's it? 162. Look, 164 is the top game. So if we take that out, that's 1304, or sorry, 1344 divided by 11, and you still get 122.8 if you take out his lowest and his highest score. So yeah, that just shows his ultra consistency there. He's probably going to be a 120, 125 guy for the rest of the year. Marshall, etc., etc. And there isn't really many other guys that I'd be looking at, because you're just looking at premiums here. It's not like fantasy where you can take risks on guys and then a week later, 2 weeks later, flip them, because you've got limited trades. You pretty much have to be trading in keepers, to be honest with you. But that is the video there, going through all of the trade targets for SuperCoach round 18. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and I will see you guys back here for the next video, which will be my team reveal for fantasy. And then you'll also have the predictions for round 18. The tips are there for that video. So I'll see you guys in those ones. Bye, guys.